I'm Anil Kumar, and in this video we'll further explore domain of restricted function, which is square root function for us. And the question is, surprisingly, it says, can domain of a square root function be all real numbers? Can domain of square root function be all real numbers? Normally, if we have a square root function, then you know its graph is kind of like this. So that is the square root function, right? So we can write this function as f of x equals to square root of x. And clearly here the domain of the function is x belongs to real numbers where x is greater than or equal to 0, right? So when we sketch this kind of a function, we'll assume this to be x, that is our function f of x, correct? Now the question is, can domain of a square root function be all real numbers? So it could be any square root function. Can its domain be all real numbers? Well, the answer is yes. The answer is yes. Can you tell me or give me examples where we have a square root function and its domain has no restrictions at all? Think about it. Let us consider this particular function, square root of x square. Now if I write x square, and let me call this function as g of x, then can x square be negative? No. So for this particular function, domain is all real numbers. Do you get the idea, right? So we have a square root function whose domain is all real numbers. Now, you know the example. As an exercise, I'd like you to pause the video, sketch this function, right? Sketch this function, and then see or check with my solution. Okay, let me also extend this video to sketch this particular function. So you can sketch a number of ways. One is you can take some table of values, right? So let us say values are -2, 1, -1, 0, 1 and 2, and in that case you will find the y values and you can plot them. Once you plot them, you will see the sketch of this function. How should it look like? What is square root of x square? Very interesting. You can follow some of my videos on this. Square root of x square is actually equals to absolute value of x, and therefore the graph will also be kind of like this. You get an idea. Graph of absolute x. So this is x, this is g of x. So the graph will be kind of like this. Do you see that? This point will be -1, 1 and 1. So that is how this graph is going to be. So remember, square root of x square is a square root function which has no restrictions. Domain is all real numbers, and it is actually equal to absolute x. I hope that really helps you. I'm Anil Kumar. Subscribe to my videos and learn. Thank you and all the best.